Hello everyone, it's Kari from sunshineinmypocket.com, and today I'm excited to share this brand new stamp set called No Bones About It from Whimsy Stamps. Isn't this cute? Look at these little skeletons, and there's so many great sentiments as well. I'm going to be making two different cards today. I want to show you this first card that I made before I even learned about this brand new product that I want to share with you a little bit later. But I kept this in because I thought this card turned out so cute, and I'm going to show you the second card as well. And I used this film strip slimline die as well, and I cut out a black one and a white one, and I'm using the centers from the white piece to use as where I stamp. Now these go in a certain direction, so you want to make sure that you have them in the correct direction when you stamp on them. But if you don't, I'm going to show you a way around that, because I realized later on that I had done one of them the wrong direction and it's easily fixable. But anyway, this is what I'm going to start out with. I'm going to stamp all of the skeletons, all three of them, on the inside pieces, and I'm going to use some Copic friendly ink to do this because I'm going to color these up with Copic markers. Now, I stamped it a couple of times to get a nice dark impression, and then I wanted to use the other stamps in this set. There's a leg and an arm from the skeleton, and I thought they were so cute, and I wanted to use them as part of the background behind these skeletons. So I'm going to use some really light ink here to do this, to stamp these down. So we're going to do a little bit of no line coloring, so they're going to be a little bit in the background. Now I was very careful when I stamped these because I didn't want to stamp them on the face of the skeleton, but wait until I show you the new product that just came out. I didn't have it at this time when I was making this set, so I can hardly wait to tell you about them. I'm so excited. So stay tuned for that. I will be showing that in just a little bit. But for now, I'm just going around and making sure I don't stamp on top of that skeleton. And I'm using this piece here just to protect my surface, to make sure I don't get ink where I don't want it. And now is time for the coloring. For the coloring, I'm going to use both warm grays and cool grays. You can use any grays you want. Neutral grays would be great too, but for this particular one, it's the warm and the cool. But you know what? I don't know that you need to really stick to grays to color these guys up. You can use any color you want. Make it fun. For the warm grays, I'm just going to be doing the no line coloring on those background stamps, the legs and the arms. So it's very difficult to tell in this video. I'm not going to leave all this coloring of these background stamps in. I'm using kind of my same technique for coloring though, and you'll see when I color the main characters how I like to do that. But I use usually a dark, a medium, and a light tone and blend those out. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to the skeleton, the main character now. For the main character, I use some cool grays, and you can see that I'm just doing some darker shades around the edges and blending those out with the lighter shades. These are super fun to color, very simple, very fast, and I really like that about them. But notice the eyes in the one just above the one I'm coloring right now. I am going to color those eyes in and leave a little bit of white so that he has kind of a dark socket, I guess is what you would call it. And so I'll show you that in a minute, but see how I'm just kind of blending that out, but leaving some white spaces as well. I'll go in with the colorless blender and blend the center part to leave that kind of light in the middle. Very fun to color, very easy. Here's where I go in with a darker gray. This is the C9, I believe. And you can see I drew a little white space around his pupil and left that white and then colored the rest in. You can give him any color eyes you want right in there. I loved the black and the white, or gray and the white, as the case may be. So I just left it like that, and he has so much character. Now I'm going to color the tabletop that he's kind of leaning on there. I'm just going to use some shades of purple to do that, and just simple like this. Now let's start to put this card together. I created a slimline card base, and I thought it would look really cool with some of these spiders hanging down. This is the Halloween Creatures stencil. It's got spiders and bats in different sizes. So I taped off one of those spiders and just had him coming down the left side. And I'm going to kind of skew this a little bit off to the right, just like so. And I wanted the bats to be flying all around the outside. So around the edges, I'm just going to ink on some of that in black ink all around the edges, including the top and the bottom of the card base. And I think that looks really great on the background, and it just adds a little more character to this card. So look at how this is going to go together. I'll go ahead and glue that all together, but before I do, I wanted to add the sentiment right on the film strip black portion that's going to be on the top. And I chose two of the sentiments. It says here, "No bones about it, you're awesome." I'm just going to white heat emboss that, just like so. And then I'll heat set that with my heat tool. If you get any stray embossing powder on your black cardstock, you can use a small paintbrush that's dry to whisk that away. And one thing I love is that you can always go and touch it up with a black marker, and you'll never even know that you got some stray embossing powder. Now time to put this all together, so I'm going to go ahead and glue these pieces together to give it a little dimension, and then I'll go ahead and add the center pieces right inside using liquid adhesive. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the back of my paintbrush to kind of push them down into those pieces right there. So that makes it so they work really great. They go right down inside, and it doesn't crease your paper at all. So that's how I'm going to put this whole card together. Very, very simple. Now watch here, I almost put this guy in backwards, and then I realized it doesn't really fit that way. It really goes this way. And I stamped him to go sideways on this card. You're going to see on my next card, I actually want him to go the opposite direction, or at least facing up so the tabletop is on the bottom. And I'm going to show you that in just a minute. But look at how cute this card turned out. So super fun. For the next card, this is what I'm really excited about. I'm going to do the same exact thing and use those inside pieces to stamp the skeletons on. And you can see I stamped them with them the same direction, so that last skeleton is actually sideways, but I want them to be the opposite direction. And I'll show you what I mean. But look at this. This is what I've been so excited to tell you about. These are the new NoFuss instant masks from Whimsy Stamps. These are masks that are already cut out for you for every single stamp in this stamp set. And they fit perfectly. No fussy cutting. I was really excited there. That was my hand dancing. And look how perfect they are. So you can do a lot of techniques like this. They come with multiple sheets in a pack, and you can use these multiple times as well. I like to save my masks and keep using them over and over until they stop sticking. So this was really exciting for me because I have to admit, I love the look of masking and what you can do with that. There's also the little pieces for the arm and the leg. I was showing you that. But what I don't love is I don't love fussy cutting out each individual mask. So these are such a time saver and a game changer, in my opinion. I love them so much. Now I'm just going to use a little bit of tape to tape off those tabletops. And now I can do some ink blending because those skeletons are masked and protected behind those masks. So I'm going to take some different colors of ink. In this case, I'm using some light green and purple inks. And I'm going to ink right over that mask. So we're going to have a really nice colorful background on this one. And you'll see that when these come out, they're very colorful and very fun. So there's all kinds of techniques you can do now that you have options to get these masks that are already done for you. I love that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and ink on all the backgrounds here. And then I'm also going to move that tape and ink on the tabletops. And see, this guy even has a hand hanging down on the table, but because he's masked off, you can easily ink that table as well. Oh, it's so awesome. So great. Now I'm going to remove that mask. I'm going to leave the mask on the skeletons though, and then bring in a different stencil here. This is the Halloween Expressions stencil, and I'm going to ink on just the smaller faces all around with some black ink. And that skeleton is masked off, so I don't have to worry about not getting ink on him. These will all look like they're behind the skeleton. This is so great. So you can see I'm just trying to choose the smallest ones out of this set because size-wise I thought it fit better on this background to have the smaller faces. And now I'm going to pull this mask off, and I'm being very, very careful because I don't want to rip on my mask. I want to be able to reuse it for my next card. And like I say, there are multiple sheets per pack. I believe 4 sheets of repositionable image masks per package. So if you reuse them, you're going to be able to make tons of cards. It's so great. So I'm just going to put it right back on the sheet that it came on, just like this, and I'll be able to use that for my next card as well. But isn't that look fun with the backgrounds? And that's going to fit right in there. Now for this one, I'm going to stamp that cat. This is from the Wicked Cute stamp set, that little cat, and I'm also going to use some of the stars from that set. And I want the cat to be positioned right on top of the elbow of this guy. See that? So I'm going to stamp him. Now, no matter that there's already ink behind there, because I'm going to color the cat up with some grays and blacks, and you won't even be able to tell that it was inked up with some green back there. So no worries on that. And then I'll just stamp these stars all around, and because it's masked off, that skeleton is protected. There we go. So now I can go ahead and peel that mask off, and just look how cute that guy is with the cat on his elbow. Oh my goodness. All right, I'm just going to color up that cat for you real quick. For these skeletons, I used warm grays, and for the cat, I am using neutral grays in dark shades. And I'm not going to leave all this coloring in because you've seen my coloring. It's very simple to do as well. I did the eyes on these skeletons the same, and I'm just going to add some white gel pen details for some highlights. And now I am going to use the white frame film strip and pop these up with some foam tape. And the reason I'm doing that is because I ended up stamping the cat on top of this guy's elbow. So instead of him being sideways, he's the opposite way. So that doesn't fit exactly inside the film strip like I want it to, that panel. But when you add it with foam tape, you can barely even tell. You can see a little black around the edges, but you can't really tell. So it's a great little trick and a shortcut for when you change your mind on the way the images are. On that last one, I just used that same stencil, the Halloween Creatures stencil, to add the bats. And I white heat embossed the sentiment. I'm going to add 2 layers of foam tape and add that. It says, "Love you to death." I white heat embossed that on black cardstock. And that's going to finish off this card. So we've got both of our cards here. Here's a little closer look. And look how wonderful and what a great thing that you can now easily add some background inking, some background stenciling, some background stamping with those NoFuss masks. There's both of our cards. I hope you enjoyed this today. I am going to link all of those products below, so if you want to go take a look. And Whimsy offers a lot of these masks, not just for this stamp set, but for many of their stamp sets, and I think they're going to be introducing quite a few more, so you can get them for all your favorites. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really does help me out with YouTube. And I'll see you real soon with way more cards to share. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.